video courtesy of www.SimplyDiag.net, and we're here today doing part 2 of the Pressure Pulse Diagnosis 101 series. So as you'll notice behind, we've got another beautiful sunny day here in Cheshire. It's currently Easter Sunday, and I was stuck for something to do. So I've been having a little fiddle this morning, been messing about with Thunderbird 3 and doing some experiments, and I thought I'd bring you along with it. This is only going to be a short live stream, and we're going to go into more detail on part 3. So I'll just wait for a few more people to get in here and see if you can all see me and hear me okay. There's currently 2 of you, all must be eating your Sunday dinner. There we go, Courtney's in here. Hi mate, are you alright? Can you hear me and see me okay? Awesome. Right. Apart from the wind, it's a bit windy, is it, mate? Right. Okay. Right. So, what we've got here, we've got Thunderbird 3, the sacrificial Ford KA, and we're set up, and I've just been doing a little bit of messing about with it. Got the PayGo scope 4425A. All out on the bench there. What we've got the WPS 500 in cylinder 1. We've got spark and fuel disabled. We've got a pressure pulse sensor in the intake. So we've got this pressure pulse sensor here into the intake, and then we've got another pressure pulse sensor going off into the exhaust. And what I've been doing, basically, I've been looking at the effects of tight valve clearances, or for example, what I've actually done here, this is the exhaust valve for cylinder number 1, and what I've done, I've tightened the valve clearance right down on that, so the valve isn't fully closing. And we've just taken a few measurements. We've got the amps clamp on starter current. So like I say, this is only going to be a short live stream, but what we can see here, we've got our in cylinder in the gold, we've got intake in the green, and we've got exhaust is red. Okay, so the intake and the exhaust are delta sensors, and then obviously the gold, the in cylinder, is the WPS. Hey up Kev, how are you mate? So this is a known good that I took before, and what we can see is this is just on cranking, and what we can see, we've got our compression peak coming up, coming down into our expansion pocket, then our exhaust valve opens, and you can see here, corresponding with the exhaust valve open, we've got a little dip in the exhaust waveform. And then it comes along. We've not really got a defined intake at the moment. This is only cranking, and it's an old overhead valve. Hey up Saran, who else is that there? Can't see. Saran and Mewa here, ball mechanics here. So you can see this is the good. Now, although it looks on video that these compression towers are sloping, I can assure you they're not. They're perfectly symmetrical. Hey up Andy. So like I say, this is a known good, and what we're looking at, you can see we've got an exhaust dip here, an exhaust pull here, an exhaust pull here, exhaust pull here, exhaust. So we've got 4 exhaust pulls, yeah, albeit this cylinder here has got a slightly it's got a hose, a compression fitting, so we've got less compression on cylinder 1, so we've got a bit of a different pull there for cylinder 1. But all in all, we've got 4 pulls, everything's good. We've got a reasonable exhaust expansion pocket here, and what we can see is we're actually missing the intake, but this is cranking. so I wouldn't worry about that too much. So if we just minimize that, what I went and did then, I went and set the valve clearance like I said, so the exhaust valve on cylinder 1, and I tightened that right down so there's no clearance and it's actually keeping the exhaust valve a little bit open. And what we've got on here, I do wish I had a screen recorder on this laptop, but I haven't. So this is cylinder 1 again, and what we can see is we've got something completely different. So if we just start with our exhaust pulls, you can see we've got a pull, we have a pull, we have a pull, yeah, but here where it should be, you see where our exhaust valve should normally open, yeah, we've got no real exhaust pull, it's missing, yeah. And that's obviously that's because the valve isn't seating, it's not seating and sealing fully. And we can also see, you will see slightly, there is a slight lean to that tower. If we look at the distance from there to there and the distance from there to there, they are slightly different. So if we pull a ruler across and we stick that at 720, oh, actually no, we should stick that at 0, shouldn't we? 0. So we stick that at 0, then we bring another ruler out to where it bisects, let's say this line here. Okay, so we bring it out so it bisects there. You can see we've got 37.97 degrees of rotation. If we then come over this side, yeah, we've only got 30 degrees of rotation. So you can see our compression tower is not symmetrical. That's the first giveaway that we've actually got an issue with cylinder sealing. Okay, so there's our first problem. Like I say, the next issue we've got is if we look here. So let's pull that ruler over so you can see where I'm looking. This sort of area here. Yeah, so our exhaust valve opens. Yeah, we've got a pull here, a pull here. Yeah, but nothing here. Hi Henry. You know, we're clearly missing an exhaust pull here. Let's make that a little bit bigger so we can see. Let's make that a little bit. Can we make that a little bit bigger? There we go. Pull that down out of the way. So you can see now we've got clearly defined pulls. So we've got a pull there, pull there, pull there, but we've got something missing here where my crosshairs is. So we've got an orange in our bowl of apples, as James would say. Hey up Chris, how are you mate? Yeah. Yeah, it could. Who's that then? I can't see who said that then. Live chat. Mailway. Yeah, it could, mate. Yeah, it could detect warm can lobes. So we see we've clearly got an exhaust pull that's missing in this area here. Yeah, so without going, you know, without going crazy, let's forget about the in cylinder and let's just purely concentrate on the exhaust pressure pulse sensor, which is just a delta sensor shoved up the exhaust. We can quite clearly see that we've got something, we've got the lack of an exhaust pull here. Well, that would indicate there that we've got a sealing issue on the exhaust valve. Hey up, Mike, how are you? Yeah, is that standing out to you? Can you see what I'm talking about? So we've got our phase rulers divided into 4, so that's 720 degrees. And we've clearly got an exhaust pull missing there because that valve clearance is over tight. You're all very quiet. There must be a bit of lag here. So what we'll do, we'll open cranking. So this is the known good. Right, so this is the known good. This was before I adjusted the valves. And then, like I say, we magnified B. We see quite clearly we've got a pull, a pull, a pull, and a pull. And you can see here, because we've got that length of that compression hose using the WPS, we've actually got a deeper pull here for cylinder 1 exhaust. I don't know whether you noticed what I did there as well, which you used to have to mess about with offsets and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, Chris, that's right, mate. We don't really need to overanalyze it. All we're looking for is 4 exhaust pulls. So pull, 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 pull. If they're all roughly in the ballpark, they look roughly the same, then we move on. That's it, definitely. Just finding the odd man out, and we like I say, the waveform that we're actually analysing is the exhaust pulse, this one here in red. So this part of it on the other waveform is the bit that's missing. Yeah, we've got no pull. Yeah, so if you remember on the old PayGo software, you used to have to go in and adjust your scaling and all that sort of thing. Yeah, once you've actually got a capture now with PayGo 7, well, you just alter the voltage range and it actually adjusts the capture that you've taken. So if I want to decrease the vertical resolution of that, all I do is increase the voltage and it makes my waveform smaller. Or I want to make it bigger, so we don't even have to bother with vertical scaling or anything like that anymore. Pretty cool feature of PayGo 7, that. So what we're planning on doing, for those of you that don't know, we did have that canopy there, that gazebo, but the wind put paid to that. So we're actually going, we've got an end bay in a workshop. We're currently having it fitted out at the minute, so we're going to have a permanent home for all the videos, so we'll be able to do lots more live stuff and lots more edited videos. Andy, could worn rings show up as worn valves? No, because don't forget, mate, you've got 3 really points of easy access on this vehicle just for a differential sensor. So we can go into the intake here, which is where this one's gone. We can go into the exhaust with another pressure pulse sensor. I'll show you. So I've just got a set of leads here going up to the back of the car, and then we've got another one of Cody's pressure pulse sensors just shoved in the back of the exhaust. And then the other thing that we can do, if you go back to part 1 of the pressure pulse, we can actually go in the easiest point of access of all, there, straight into the dipstick. So if we've got worn piston rings, what we'll actually be getting compression pressure coming out into the crankcase. So we'll actually see that in the crankcase. So we just put one of those delta sensors straight into the dipstick tube. And if you go back to part 1 of the pressure pulse, yeah, that's it. If you go back to my part 1 video, you'll actually see me using that. I hope Jambo wanna. So yeah. So like I say, so this is only a very, very short live stream just to show you what I've been doing. It's I'm just really playing, just fiddling about, messing about on a Sunday afternoon. We've just had a Sunday dinner, Sunday lunch, whatever you want to call it. Roast beef, roast potatoes, carrots, mashed potatoes, horseradish sauce and all that. So I thought I've just been messing about all morning really. We're waiting for the new unit to be ready and renovated and that, and then we'll be able to bring you a lot more videos. So yeah. So I just thought I'd give you a little bit of an insight into what's good and what's bad. And so like I say, if we look at this, that's a good one. Everything's pretty much even, apart from, like I say, this extended drop here. Yeah, this extended drop here, and that's because we've got the long hose going to the WPS, so we're actually increasing the cylinder volume, and that's why we've got that difference. Yeah, that'll do it. Plastic bag on the dipstick. Yeah, that'll do it. Or a glove or anything, finger off a glove, anything at all. Yeah, so we can ignore the in cylinder that we're doing. What we're really actually looking for is just something that doesn't look right, so something that's the odd man out. So we know it's a 4-cylinder engine, so we should have 4 exhaust poles, and on the capture that we just did, we didn't. So if I actually stop that now and we start the scope running, run with found probes. Okay, so we're just running here now. Yeah, we're not doing anything spectacular. All I'm going to do is crank the vehicle. So we stop the scope, go back, we get rid of everything else. We get rid of A, C and D. Yeah, and all we're looking for is 4 things that are even. And what can we see there? They're not even. We've clearly got a pull missing here, haven't we? Yeah, so we know straight away we've got lack of an exhaust pull. So then we have to, so if you think about it, why did we get this drop here? Yeah, this drop happens when the exhaust valve opens. It's a change in pressure relative to atmospheric, and that's what when we get that pull back. So if you imagine, if our exhaust valve's already open, it's already open to atmosphere, isn't it? So we're not going to get that initial change in pressure relative to atmosphere. So it's missing. So literally, if we were doing that, current clamp and delta sensor up the exhaust, immediately now we know we've got a mechanical issue and we have to delve further. So that's where the initial diagnosis finishes. We speak to our customer and we get paid for going into more detail. Yeah, Chris, you're right. I'm just messing about, mate. Just messing about, just pottering, and I thought, you know what, I'll go live. It's not a bad day. The internet doesn't seem to be too bad. Yeah, Ryan, you do, mate. You do. Like I say, I've been pottering now for about 4 hours today. Just messing about, changing valves and stuff like that. What we say is we don't learn new equipment or new test methods on broken vehicles. So the very first thing I did this morning, I set all the valve clearances. So the intake valve's 0.2 of a millimeter, the exhaust valve's 0.5 of a millimeter. I set all those up, so I knew they were good. I took a capture, and then I deliberately then went and changed the valve clearances to see what sort of a difference it's going to make. So this is what how you learn best. Learn off the good stuff and then introduce your own faults. if you want a scope, Ryan, speak to well, all our community partners. We've got Technical Topics, Diagnostic Connections, ADS Automotive, Stroke Auto Info, PayGo themselves. You know, you've got options there for everything, for everybody's price bracket, and different packages to suit what different people want. So yeah, the one thing I would say is don't get hung up on having to have the best. Get whatever you can afford, whatever your budget allows you to get. Practice and play with that, but the outcome will be, the eventual outcome will be, you'll either drop the scope or you'll end up with the 425A low channel. It happens every time. So people, you know, the amount of times I get people commenting, oh, I've been messing about with different scopes for 5 years, what I should have done was just bought PayGo in the first place. So yeah, but start any scope's better than no scope. So start, get some wiggly lines on the screen, join our community at SimplyDiag.net, share your captures with us, and let's learn together. There's no tool snobs in there. Whatever you've got is perfectly okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna let you all get back to your Sunday afternoons. Yeah, husband, Chinese version of the WPS that works wonderfully. Fantastic, awesome. If it suits your budget, get it and use it. But the industry standard has to be PayGo. The industry standard is PayGo. Tamer, how are you? Yeah, a budding PayGo wizard in the making there, Tamer. Yeah. So, like I say, get whatever you can afford, but the outcome will be you will end up with a PayGo. It's a certainty. Hey up, David. How are you, mate? You're awesome. Fancy tuning in all the way from Canada? You must have better things to do over there. Oh dear. Yeah. So, like I say, just a little bit of a taster. We're going to do a lot more in-depth stuff once we're in the new unit. If anybody's interested in the pressure pull stuff, then I would highly recommend you speaking to James Dillon at Technical Topics. His in-cylinder pressure course is fantastic. It uses exactly the same engine as I've got in front of me here. So James has got his set up on a rig, and it's absolutely fantastic. He can manipulate that to make whatever wiggly lines he wants, to replicate any fault that you could think of within cylinder with his. And he's definitely a little bit more refined than I am. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'll let you get back to your Sundays. Hey up, Gaines, how are you? Yeah. Oh, what's that, Usman? What about ATS? Fantastic scope, mate. I've got one here that Bernie sent over for me. It's a fantastic scope. You know, there's absolutely no doubt about it. A very fantastic, very capable scope. But the end story is everybody ends up with PayGo in the end. So why not go there in the first place? Have an awesome weekend, folks. Maybe we might go live tomorrow, unless we've got snow. We've got snow forecast tomorrow. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a like, thumbs up. There's links in the video description for our partners, the equipment I've used, SimplyDiag.net, Teespring merchandise store, my Amazon store, everything you could possibly want in the video description. Thanks for watching. You're awesome.